Danielvvl. I bring like keeping the torch lit for like OG DJs, like when DJing started, DJ culture started, and I'm just trying to carry that flame of like the origins of DJ culture, so it doesn't get too perverted, because I'm part of the youth of DJ culture now, and I'm just trying to keep the balance where it doesn't stray too far off into a perversion. What inspired, not like a DJ didn't specifically inspire me to start DJing, but I watched this film called Scratch. Very like necessary for any aspiring DJ. And it was just about like DJ culture, like, and it just showed me like guys that were like me. Like I was like, oh, I found my friends, like word, like I'm not a weirdo anymore, like there's other dudes like me. And I think I know where I should go, just as like a safety net, as like to live life. Like, cool, if I just hang out in this little world, like I'll be straight, you know? Like I found homies, and I watched this film, Scratch. It's a documentary, it's beautiful. Like all the ill DJs from back in the day, like are in it. And that really was like, yo, that's what I need to do. Like, that's what I need to do. My first gig is actually the first Lazy Afternoon party. Yeah, I started super unfair. Like, as far as the game goes, like I started super unfair. The first party was like off the meters, super live, and that was my first like gig, because I had just started DJing, and I was like, I couldn't get a gig yet because I just started, but I was like, I want to throw a party, and I was like, I was the opener, you know. But that was my first gig, is the first Lazy Afternoon party. The way Lazy Afternoon, the crew started, it was me and a roommate, John Santino, who now has El Donut Shop, which is in Orlando, Florida. Dope record store. And DJ Why Not. It was the three of us kind of like bummed about our scene in Orlando being pretty whack. Like, you know, we were like heads of music, and like, you know, we would bond on like, man, this like we know what's up. Like, how come it's not offered for us to go to? So, you know, just basic principles, like you got to do it yourself at that point. So we just kind of put our heads together and just came, like, Why Not had a mixtape series called Lazy Afternoon, and that was the reference point. And I was super into like 80s New York culture, because that's like the apex for me of like the culture, from what we're all kind of like based off of, is that whole Basquiat, you know, Keith Haring era, like all these folks just intermingling like naturally, not forced. How did Lazy Afternoon parties, like throwing them, like influence me as a DJ now? It's profound, because I was picking up the greatest DJs like internationally from the airport, and then taking them to DJ like my party, and then watching them DJ this party, you know, week after week, month after month for years. Like the best DJs in the world, like Louis Vega, Kenny Dope, Rich Medina, all these cats, J-Rock, Spinna, I've seen all of them like in front of me, you know, and that's my, like, I was studying that. So whenever new DJs come out and they're like huge, I'm like, yeah, well, you know, it's like if you were in Cali and you just grew up there smoking that herb, and then moved somewhere and then like started smoking the best herb in that town, and people were like raving about it, but you're like, yo, trust me, there's better herb. That's kind of my, like, that's what I have to bring to the table. It's like I've seen the best party. Like I've experienced it at its apex, like for sure. So that's just what's influenced me, like just being a part of that. I can't take away that experience and try to output it when I'm DJing too. Like that's the pinnacle. So that's what Lazy Afternoon like provided for me as a student of the culture, and really trying to carry the torch. One of the craziest nights I had DJing, like recently that I could think of, was this old lady came into like the booth, like she was kind of twisted, and I was like, on it this night. Like I was just like every song, like 5 songs ahead, just like breezing through. I was like, oh, I got it. And this lady, she's throwing 20s. She just kept like putting 20s like in my shirt and then groping me and like going. I was like, all right, chill. You know, I gotta play the next song. She was wilding, and then she would like pass out like for a few minutes behind me, just like boop, like sit on a chair. And I was like, word. And then she would get up again and be like back at it, like get a boost. Like I guess she just got off of work and she was like, you know, happy hour going into it. She would take like little naps and then get back up and like rub up on me and like just keep putting money in my shirt. Yeah, that was pretty wild. Some of my favorite artists to play are like Jill Scott Heron, Mighty Mos Def, Moody Man. It varies from like DJ artists and like just artists. That's pretty a long list, but like my Raucous bag, like Raucous Records, like that's kind of where my youth was like really fermented, because I was like 14, 15 when I really got into Raucous. So that whole kind of era is like OK Player, like The Roots, all of that, like Erykah Badu, Soulquarians, that's pretty much the foundation of my like favorite artist. Music in the next 5 years, I mean, it's hard to say where it's heading, like as far as like telling the future, but I feel like a very feminine presence like emerging, like becoming so much, because it's like that time anyway. It's like the divine feminine that's coming about, and like all these beautiful female artists are coming about and like killing it, and not even trying to be like Riri anymore. You know, you got Jamila Woods is her name, I think it's, yeah, and her whole album is like, I almost want to cry like 3 or 4 songs, but like that, and there's a bunch of them, like there's a bunch of them, even SZA, like she's even representing this divine femininity and her vulnerability, and just, and it's ill, like dudes are loving it, females are loving it, like it's dope. So I think maybe more of a like stronger female presence than like Drake being the main dude. Like it might be just more females just kind of running it. Can music save the world? Absolutely. Most definitely music can save the world. If you think about it as far as like slave music goes, like that kind of chanting, like it saved them. Like that's your only place of solace. Amidst all chaos that may be around you or turmoil, you sing and chant with a group of people, like you're having unity with like God, like you're having this divine experience, and like not all that just gets pushed away. So as even like to monks, like all chanting together, like that vibration, that intention is like magnanimous, like that's making a serious impact. So as far as saving the world, like if at the Super Bowl, like everybody sang a beautiful, uplifting song together, like everybody would leave in a different way, like completely be like, you know what, I want to help you, like let me open the door for you. It would definitely change just on a vibration level, because if we're just talking about, you know, science, like yeah, singing and chanting like with intention of like high spirits, like a gospel song, like you're gonna change, like it's gonna change you. You go to church and join a church singing, like you leave different. So I would say wholeheartedly, music can definitely save the world. Find it first, but here I am, 'cause I've been laying under palm trees. How do I feel about taking requests? I'm open to it actually. I feel like most DJs are just like, nah. But it means that people want to stay at that party if they're asking for a request. They want to stay there. They're coming up to you because they're like, we like it here, we want to stay here, here's a request. Now, whether it's good or not is up for debate. My usual answer when people are like, can I make a request? I'm like, if it's good, I could work it in, because then it makes it a challenge for me, you know, and then I'm like, oh cool, where can I put this song in here? Like I got to work to that, because I'm into the fun of just the experience. If it's just horrible, I'm like, it's not gonna, I don't have it, I'll say that. I don't have it. But I'm open to requests. I'm not Mr. like, yo, I'm the creative vision of everything. Like I'm up here. I'm like, yo, this is a shared experience. you guys are just as important as I am, you know, to us all having a good time. So requests are cool with me. Hi you guys, this is Danielvvl. You are watching Stereo, always more music.